Yo, hello. So there has been a time shift here. I gotta change. How do I'm supposed to change this one actually. To UTC4, I believe. Goes to 9:30. Yes. I gotta do that for every one of them. For daylight savings. Is there anything else I need to change? Oh, this. Same candle. Sound is super low. Let me see. Try now. Hello. So daylight savings change the time, right? It is 1 p.m. right now, or is it still 12? All right, we're gonna get started here. Connect up. All right, how's the stream going? Is it good? So, yeah, it's a pretty difficult area to manage during these big drives here. Let me just fix my PC real quick. Okay. We're down 3.4% on the day. We're getting overextended, but we do have some more lows to go for here. So I'm looking at the daily charts here. This whole daily for that gap, all they get filled, all they at 400s. And ES looks like it's filling that already. So I'm anticipating one more leg lower, but I don't think we sell all the way down to this liquidity gap. I think we're just going to fill this fair value gap and then move back up from there. Whoa, what a deep sell that is. Holy shit. Just trying to look at the charts here. So I was looking at the daily. We got one big drive to fill the whole ES here. NQ, we're still looking at it. I think we're gonna bottom out soon. I don't think I'm gonna be looking at shorts, especially when we're looking like we're gonna hold this on the daily chart here. Probably just get one big slam lower though. All right, let me say that we're online. Yeah, so honestly, I'm just gonna tape read today, and there's a setup we'll go for, but very volatile day. Just look at the range already. AM really. Oh, this I gotta fix this too, right? Wait. How do I fix this? Did I put GMT4? Yeah, there we go. I do hate the time zone changes. I wish they just keep all the same. It's like there's no point. If it's effective, just keep it year round. What a slam. So right now it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm pretty sure. Like it's just like PM time right now. Someone's saying like, you know, why start the live early? I'm like, what? Isn't this 1 p.m. right now? Getting confused. All right, let me just set up my trade copier and then we'll get started today. Give me a second. Give me a second. Can't really take trades today. I want to skip AM just because it's a Monday and we have news drivers coming up. So now we're gonna really hunt for it. All right, let me get this set up here first. How's everyone doing today, chat? Hopefully all is well. All right, let's see. I heard some people were having some issues with their trade copier for Rep Console and Trade Tinker. The Trade Tinker is a new one. I'm trying to make sure I have everything unlocked before I even get started today. So I can't have any more technical issues that throws me off, especially on Friday. That's what I try to explain. All right, let me make sure everything's good. Check the orders. Crypto's down, stocks down, X is down. Yeah, I thought X being down was just my Wi-Fi just like not working. I'm like, damn, I don't think I can live today if I can't even log in. And then like it made my Discord slow, or like at one point my Discord was loading too. I was like, okay, that just means everything I have on just can't load well. But yeah, it just been choppy back and forth. It looks like, but just aggressive sells since the open, going for lower and lower and lower. That's how the tech is looking, selling off pretty hard. Yeah, we're going for lower. I want to see this whole daily gets filled all the way to 405. And then I think the 4 hour says a similar thing. 450s here. For this 4 hour get filled. So we're going to just let that get dragged down. I don't think I want to short this until we get like a good internal drive higher first. Just like we did every other sell week. Yeah, I think my interest right now is just filling Soul Daily fair value gap here. Should have big sell, and that would get us probably very close to 4% on the day. I felt like I recovered fully from my coughing, but then just this morning, getting like cough back. Like, I haven't coughed in the last 4 or 5 days. Something's hitting me. Oh, it's Tanya Trades. I need a trade from her. I just got on. I wasn't really on charts all day. And we're about to get negative 4% on NQ already. It's crazy. Tanya didn't stream this morning. I was surprised we didn't want to fill. I guess we did tap back inside just very briefly. Not yes, it looks like, right? Oh no, yes did too. It's so brief. Makes sense to just fill the gap before slamming lower. That's what I was watching at last night. Oh, rehearsal. Okay, never mind. I do remember something about like a live stream with you, Kane. I'm trading on NinTrader on Monday. Oh, hopefully that kicks off well. Like the one thing for trading on the platform, but like partnering with them and then live streaming on that platform, that's kind of crazy. Some big moves. Did you watch any Lance interview on Words of Wisdom? I just saw the title. I haven't watched it. How was it? Yeah, this is so slow. This is slow grinding down. Bleeding though, very bleeding. Right at 1 p.m. which split another almost 100 points. I just want this whole FEG gap on the daily chart filled. Then it makes more sense so we can play both sides. That's what it's drawing into. And if we want to just really just drop down to, let's say, the next low, which is another 400 points away, I don't think we get that today, though. That would be like 6% on the day. But yeah, we're just dropping. We're just free falling now. Nvidia just dropped, about to get new lows, it looks like. This is all tech I have on right now. So like Tesla just selling off. I recall Tesla in the 300-400s. It just basically went to 200 again. It's about to become good value here. Anyways, I just really want to see us do one more big drive lower. And if we do want to flip upside, I don't mind that. Just a little tricky just because it's starting to become good buy areas, but with the amount of selling pressure, we just need to wait for a flip first. So we could use this 5-minute here because this 5-minute displacement here with that closure was the one that took out these internal AM lows here. So if we flip that, I can imagine it comes back up to the next draw internals there. But what a day. I'm just looking at a very high time frame. So weekly still looks pretty bearish, but you know, we just opened up Monday and we just dropped another 600 points. if this weekly comes and sells, this is like buy opportunities here to load up on a long count. This shit is just moving. But yeah, glad to be back on stream. I didn't stream Friday, but we're back on. We're gonna do daily again. Let's see what we're cooking. I do want to see a flip though. We have a good gap here, but this 15 minute just closed, and it looks like we're gonna just try to see if we come back. If we do get a closure above 542s, we'll get that chase to delivery, and I'll likely go for this buy side target here. But I'm starting to look at longs more. What do you guys think, chat? I definitely need to let this play out more before I can say for certain more high probability we're gonna head to. We have this 5 minute gap here. We flip this. This looks pretty good for upside. So we got a little tap in on that 5 there. Not an ES though. March is probably the highest probability month to do the low of the year. Is that like back with stats? Because I don't really look at. I do look at seasonality, but not like each month. But I am always curious about stuff like that. So yeah, drive in size is 5 minute. If this flips, we go for the next internal highs. But we don't want to just be too eager because that means we're trying to bank on it making a strong low, which we don't even know. Is Twitter back up? I think it just loaded for me again. I think it's back up. But get ready to cook again, guys. On Friday, I had some problems with Apex, just on my Ninja because it got kicked me out. And I think if you guys read my posts, I kind of explained what happened. I was doing 2 contracts. I showed that I didn't DCA or add or anything. It was 2 contracts doing non-foreign payroll like at 10 a.m. I think it got fixed around like 10:12 or something, where all the firms were back on. But I got kicked out, and it was like for like 10 minutes. I came back to like minus 2K or something, minus 2.5. I don't know what it was, but seeing that, usually me putting my stop in tight already, or even trimming, let's say, because I was going for a quick scalp, but then like, you know, non-farm payroll just moves really fast, and being out with like no stop, no nothing, because, you know, I enter and then like a few seconds later I was already kicked out of it. I came back in, I let that loss sit for another like 10 minutes and accumulated. It basically doubled. And the only graceful thing that in the whole situation is like, yeah, once again, that was not on live stream. Every big loss I have is off screen. It's either because of my own demise, which is like my trading. It could be me tilting, or it could be technical errors. That could be a trade calculator error that sets me off, or like, I guess in this case, this is the first time like more of a platform issue, other than like the rhythmic. But you know, we've been grinding for so long, doing base hits, doing like $500 per session essentially, and we have 2 good sessions. That's like $1,000 on all accounts, and literally gave back half of what we did last week, and or no, the full thing we did last week, and then some, which kind of sucks because of like of a technical error. Honestly, that's how it is. Looks like we're about to go for this inversion flip here. I do want to get longs here. I think we're getting like, after taking on this lows, we're gonna get this flip. You guys can play for this inversion here. I think we go higher. I think we're gonna slam to these highs. Confirm the 5 minute. It looks just like a pretty nice manipulation leg down here, taking those lows, and we're gonna just do a V reversal back up. Yeah, and also if we get a nice closure on this 15-minute, this is like the bearish candle that took out the lows. Get a closure above it, that just makes it much more convicted for taking out the next 2 internals. So look at that change to delivery there. How's chat doing? We're about to get this 5 minute flip here. 2 minutes. This is what I'm kind of anticipating right now. And even better is this 15-minute closure. That'll just give me much more conviction for higher. So let's see what we're looking at. I think I waste most of my mental capital over passing evals too slowly. That's something I do talk about very, very often. I feel like it might get overlooked because like, oh, why are you full porting evals? Or just trying to pass them quickly. The name of the game for me is 99% of my focus is on fundeds, and that 1% of evals, and it's usually just like a few days in a month. That's like literally 10-15 minutes basically. So like a fraction of my focus, and it could be, you know, off of news. Let's say on Apex, it'd be like a few minutes, just me trading off of it, or it could just be like, let's say for Top Step or Take Profit was 50%. Because you see, I'll just do like 15 minis for 15 points to get them halfway through on a scalp play. And what that allows you to do is basically put up a like an expense, or since you're expediting it, it's gonna probably be less of an efficiency to pass, because you're going to fail a lot more when you're doing it faster than slower. But yeah, that just helps you get really free up a lot of time on funded, and that pairs up to the follow-up, which is like, oh, how do you spend so much on evals or expenses? It's because I do that. So like when I was not like trading a lot of firms and scaling up, I was just like trading evals like very smart and very slow. It could take me like 2 weeks to pass like a group of evals. But nowadays I just try to pass it in the most little time possible. So you would imagine like that's how the expenses just keeps on adding up, which I'm fine with because what's the outcome of it? You pass evals quicker, you get funded easier and quicker as well, and then your full focus on the funded, which is their money maker. So that's why, like, you know, if you spend 100K in on evals and activation fees and resets and all that stuff, it seems like a lot, but that's like with 5+ firms, and then you make 400,000 or 500,000 in payouts. Isn't that just like a very net positive multiple? I think that's where a lot of people just get overlooked when they think like, how could you possibly spend so much? Like, it's because I'm not taking eval seriously, and like, if I was, I mean, I think I could reduce my expense by maybe 20% as a conservative number, because that's what I was doing before. Like when I was doing before I was scaling up, my payouts were doing like 20,000 per month, but my expenses very very low just because I was just trying to be very careful passing these evals. And yeah, you get it right off your eval. So like at that point, like it's just like a number to me. Like as long as my payout number, which is like the net profit, is much higher, or not net profit, just like, you know, profits versus expense, right? The net of it, as long as it's like a multiple of the expense, like I'm always happy with that. Like even though I could do better, we're just kind of stretching out for the whole 12 months over like 5, 6, 7, 8 firms, whatever firms it is. There's firms where I go like 10x multiple. There's firms where I do 5, which is my average right now. And there's firms where I do like 2x, 3x, just because I didn't run it up that much yet. Since I joined your Discord, I've seen the difference in mentality and approach. I'm trying to focus on trades and look at points rather than P&L. Yeah, I mean, if you can't handle the P&L, which is like, I think a lot of people, you just turn it off, go for points, and then that's how you trade. What I like to do is like think carefully on your risk management. Like this is what I talk about all the time. Risk, let's say rule of thumb, risk 10% your drawdown. That's their max risk. 10% of 5,000 is 500. Whatever your stop is, whatever your size is, make sure it's around 500. Like it could be like $50 over, $50 under, but like just around there. So like if I do 12.5, is that 12.5 point stop, 2 minis, that's $500 exactly. You don't have to like really think about it anymore. And so like when you ask like, oh, what's a good size and what's a bad size, it just depends on the setup. If the setup is big stop, you do lighter sizing. If the setup is risky, you also do lighter sizing, lighter risk. If it's a clear setup that we take all day, risk normally. If you like that setup a lot, you could even risk higher if you want, but like to think about like that. So it's more consistent. Like you're gonna size a similar risk every time because not every setup has the same stop. That's why my stop for trades, not this week, but like before the volatility came back, it was like 10 points. Could go up 12, could go down to 8, could go up to 14, 15. But on average, I think like the average is like 11 or 12. But that's just what it is. We had a lot of discussions, very transparent discussion on Twitter this past week, talking about, you know, that was like drama aside. That's just like, okay, let me just bring some sense of reality here. I don't know where people are thinking like a 5x multiple is bad. Just maybe because the expenses side, like because you have to fathom like, oh, you have to spend 150,000 in expenses. But people try to do the math like, okay, 150,000 times, let's say 4,500 drawdown that they give you. That means you blew 5 million in drawdown to make that much money. Is that poor? But then they don't account for, let's say, the trailing drawdown, the end of day trailing drawdown, because like you could be up 4,500 first day and then go down 4,500. That's net break even, and you still blow the account. They neglect even that very clear fact. Think about it like that though. Like if you try to, because that prop firms do have like a wiggle room where you're making money off of them versus you're losing. The trailing drawdown, which also applies at the end of the day, is the one that's hurting you. as well as just doing evals. You can do very good in evals, poorly unfunded. You're not making any money. So that's where a lot of the math really goes out the window when people are trying to break down like how much drawdown you're losing. What's the PM buy? It's just low right now. If this 5-minute flips, I'm higher. If not, we're gonna look for down. Okay, let me also fix this too. We're very, very bearish right now, and I'm waiting for a flip. If not, I'm just waiting for it to like take the next internal high, which I would appreciate this high first before going lower, and then like we'll play a short off of it, but we didn't get that. But yeah, does anyone in the chat want to share, like, let's say their, you could say all time, or you can say last year, or you can say year to date, whichever you want. Just clarify if it's year to date, 2024, 2025. Your expenses, just all your profit expenses versus your payouts, just so we can put a more sense of real numbers. If you guys want to share, because we're not going to judge anyone, and even if it's like 1-1 or negative, that's something we can talk about, like something we don't have to hide. But yeah, like if you guys want to comment in the chat, I get to speak more on that, not for drama's sake. It just purely just the psychology speaking about how profit really goes based on the numbers. 5K expenses, 70K in payouts. Holy crap, Shea Money, you cracked. 5K in expenses, 14K in payouts. That's like nearly 3x. 3K expenses, 17.5K payouts. I mean, lots of people in the chat so far are doing net positive. There's one right now, 3K expenses, 1,000 payout. Still very low expensive, so like I hope that you're gonna turn that around. I've spent 12. I have withdrew 27. So all these numbers, even though like they're not net positive, they are realistic numbers. A lot of them are 2-3 multiples on average, which is, you know, very profitable. Don't let anyone say like, oh, you spent too much, you should have 10x multiple to be a good trader. They're not calculating how the prop firm rules gets to you. Let's say you get denied. Let's say you got trailed out. The trailing gets to you, or any other things with evals or funded through bad experience with them. Because also another thing with prop firms, they make rules very difficult where you can get the money out. So there's times where I make hundreds of thousands on prop firms, but I can't pull out right away. If I did, my efficiency would be much higher. But you have to go through loops and bounds. You got to go through like 5-6 payouts, like, which is like 3 months essentially to take the whole thing out. It's very challenging to do that without having like, I guess, like technical error or something like that. Last year withdrew 100K, spent 24K. That's a fantastic number. Like, I think my numbers are a little bit better, but I still would like take your numbers as well, because like that's just a good number. You spent 24,000, you made 100,000. But like if you post on Twitter, you're gonna have a lot of people saying like, that is such, you're a gambler, which doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't want to get too off topic, but yeah, we're just waiting right now. I'm still waiting for this 5-minute flip. So far, we haven't done that. We could try to play for shorts, but I still want internal get grabbed first. I'm just kind of letting this play out. It's like 30 minutes in. I don't think I see anything high probability yet. If we can hold this PD rate on the lower side on the 1 minute, I mean, we're gonna try to hold this. What would you say about my situation? What did he say? 14K on prop firm expenses, 0 payouts, 25K in personal account expense, 0 profit. Yeah, so that's the problem with, I think a lot of people have similar problems where, you know, they are usually net negative to start. I think that's where you're at right now. Some people do bigger net versus smaller. But achieving your first payout, that's the hardest thing. Out of that, like, once you know your system, you know like what's happened. He's like, why are you spending so much without getting a single payout? You're just pouring money in it. Is there something wrong with your trading? Are you gambling, or are you like not treating the funded seriously? Or are you doing good on evals but bad at funded? Like, you gotta recognize what's the problem here, and then you can work and improve that. Did you take any trades yet? No, I haven't. I gotta take a piss though. I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Hopefully market doesn't dump too much. All right, we're back. We're back. If I have a bad drawdown eval, what should I do? That this is what I'll do. It goes the same thing with what I talked about at the very beginning. Focus 99% on funded, 1% on eval. If you are very like close to being blown, let's say you have like 10% left on the drawdown, I would just start a new one and just like you could just full size see if you can save it, but like don't. I think my best advice, that's to me though, this might be bad advice taken just depending on who you are, but like my I would just blow that count and just restart, because you know how much mental energy I did in the past to try to save an eval from the dead. Let's say it's like a like a top step count, and I have like 1,000 drawdown left. Now I need to make the drawdown back plus the 9K profit sticker. I make like 13K, and what's depressing and discouraging is like let's say I get close to break even again, and then work weeks and weeks, try to go back up, and then I fall back down. That'd be just weeks of me doing progress that didn't show anything. That's the thing with evals too. I think the way that prop firms does it, they just try to exhaust you as much as possible in evals, and then once you succeed in it, it doesn't really translate through to funded, which is like the main purpose, right? You want to, if you do good on evals, you should try to do the same thing on funded. Just very challenging to do that. We're filling this whole daily here. So the whole daily gets filled at 405. I want to see that get filled all the way. We're really just slamming down now. X is under massive cyber attack. Holy crap. How do you deal with the psychology of trading goods with evals, and then when it comes to funded, is it below average? Wait, let me just read this again. How do you deal with the psychology of trading goods with evals, then when it comes to funded? For me, evals are just like, it's just like an expense number. So like, let's say the cost to pass the eval, I could put at top step for like, let's say $500, or let's say $600. That would cover. That's very conservative though. But that'll be the eval cost and covers, let's say, 2 resets and then the activation fee. So like, you take that number and then you go fund it. Your cost is 600 all in already on the eval. That's what you set against. As long as you can make more than 600, you're net positive already in payouts. So like, my number would be like, okay, make 3,000. That's 5x already. Anything more, just be gravy. That's kind of how I view like expenses versus profits, and like it does go away from real trading because you're not thinking about that. But we're in the prop firm cycle, and we're trying to scale up as best as we can too. So that's why expenses does add up, accumulate, but hopefully your payouts add up as well. Need a complete walk away from eval cycle. Yeah, like I think I've seen you, Dan. I think I've seen you post about your evals. Like, it's very impressive how you go slow in those evals, but I feel like to me, like you could just have a better expense, just trying to like expedite those eval, and then do that like very slow grind on the funded, and then your hard work will just pay off tremendously. So you don't have to be very stressful at evals. You're just like you're full on unfunded. That's your commitment there. I think that's what I learned halfway through my prop firm journey. I'm like, why am I wasting so much mental capital on evals when it doesn't make me any money? It saves me money, like, if anything. Like if I, like, instead of more resets or more purchases. But then, yeah, that's when I started thinking, like, what if I just build reserves? And what if I just focus on evals very quickly, buy 10, 20 counts, and then pass them in one go? If I pass them 20 counts in one go, um, let's say I take 2 tries with it. You know, each try in 10 counts, 20 counts. Let's say 20 counts. That could be like 10K, 10K. Third try, we pass it. And I got 20 top steps. 20 top step funded. And my expenses, let's say 20K. Can I get way above that in net positivity, especially with 20 funded? I think I can. I think that's very easily done. Even if you're not trading, you're just hitting random buttons with good risk management. It's just a perspective that I'm kind of talking about. And then, like, you prop firms do try to preach, like, trade the same way you trade funded on eval, but it's just not realistic, because the way that, with that mindset, it might contribute to people doing very good in evals, very poorly in funded. Does the top step evals that you pass go away if you don't activate them? The way that top step works, it goes into reserves now, or it's been doing that for probably the last year. Apex doesn't do that. You have to renew, but, like, that's why top step's good. Once you pass them, you don't get renewed anymore. So I should have like 15 more in the bank right there. And I haven't, if you notice too, I haven't activated a new funded because I kept on getting moved to live. The only funded accounts I blew, or like, not blow, but loss, is all 5 every time I get moved to live. And I got moved live twice now, this year. So that's 10 accounts just gone without even me blowing it. And I haven't blown a account pretty much like last 2 months. It just transitioned live, which does cost me money because, like, now I can't build those accounts up anymore. And I need more evals just in case I need a new set ready. I think if you really want to be very profitable with prop firms, just think about trying to focus fully on funded. Number one, try to see if the prop firm that you're using allows reserves, and then pair that up with, like, let's just run through evals for a small allocated time, get a lot of reserves, and then not have to worry about evals for months. It could be 2 months, could be 3 months, could be 6 months. Like, for me, Topset, I haven't worried about evals for more than 4 months yet. I haven't bought a single eval because I have 20 in the bank, or 2015, I forget, because I get moved so frequently live. So that just means, like, now I have no more expenses on Top Step. I'm only making profits. So that 150K last year probably contribute to that too. My proc expenses. Now I have 0 expenses on the Top Step, except the activation fee, which I haven't done. If you have the funded in the bank, you just have to pay the activation fee, which is only 150 per. Let's say with 20 accounts, that's 3K. That would be my max expense on those funds. And I'm already doing like a few thousand per week on Top Step. Don't the XFA become sacrificed after 30 days, or do they stay banked? I'm pretty sure for my case, I don't know if there's a new update now, but I have literally 20 accounts, 20, 15, I forget. Let's just say 15. I have 15 that's been reserved for 4 months now. That hasn't been touched. So that probably explains you can have reserves. I don't think they're gonna let you do that as much anymore. You can, but you can only buy 10 accounts. What was it, a month? So I guess if you just want to, like, add 10 accounts, boom, pass them. Add another 10 accounts next month, boom, pass them. Now you're building reserves, I guess. Why do you go for the monthly payment instead of lifetime? I think all my accounts are lifetime payments. Is there any firms that's doing monthly anymore other than Apex? I feel like all these firms are switching to pay a one-time activation fee, no more monthly. Any other prop firm recommend? If you go on my website, Smart Prop Firm, there's like 6 firms. That's all I recommend. Add Top Step, it'll be 7. Top Step's just not on the website just because they never do sales, so like it's pointless to do them, and I promote them every free promotion basically. Do you think all props will end sim funded and only offer live funding? I don't think that works because it has to be like eval, funded, and then live. You can't just cut off the funded, right? I think more frequently they'll move you to live much quicker. And if you do get live, let's say, they might not let you back on evals for either the same price or they shut you off for a few months or something. I think that's gonna be the next route for prop firms, which it makes sense. It just sucks though because sometimes you get moved live way too early. Like you have, let's say, 3 good days, make a few thousand off of it, and then like they're like we're switching you live. It's like, what? It's only been like less than a month. How do you know like I'm performing enough to get moved to live? And there's a punishment when you're losing live too. That'll be added on to it. Yeah, I don't really see any setups whatsoever to take here. I like downside. Maybe if we do take this internal high and flip, I can play off of that as my stop. I just tend to like shorts when we, after we take a low, to really take eternal opposing liquidity first before playing the downside. Crazy how Top Step has a promotion in like a year. That's what it is. I think I heard they're gonna do like a sale for 150K. Oh, you know what? You look at that. Top Step 150K subs. I feel like they're gonna do a 150K sale here. I swear they mentioned it somewhere. I don't know where, but they mentioned like someone probably teased them like, when's the next sale? How about 150K sale? And they said like it's coming. That's what I remember. So they're slamming lower. Oh, by the way, for those who trade Take Profit Trader and submit the rebates, if you supported me, I encourage you, I encourage you to submit the rebate because the whole platform is to give money back to the users. But we rebated everyone who submitted it. And if there wasn't, you'll get an email explaining why. It's usually just like need more info because you entered incorrectly, which we have a team to really handle that. But yeah, some of the drama last weekend. Not this part is not the drama, but when I talked about like my affiliate earnings and my payouts, this is the one that triggered a lot of people. 100K per month payouts, yes, that's good. 150K prop expenses last year, no, people didn't like that. 5 figures in affiliate earnings, people didn't like that. Grind, I guess people like that, but it was this part here. I talked about my affiliate earnings because you guys know, people who know me, we have the platform to rebate the users, and I had to pull out the exact numbers. 29,000 on the date of March 8th, so it's probably above 30,000 now. 29,000 in rebates year to date, so it's only been like 2.5 months. This is how much we rebated to users already. That's kind of crazy. Because let's just go with that rate. I think we're gonna continue growing. More people are gonna get rebated. But if we just continue with that rate there, we're gonna rebate upwards of like 150,000, 140,000 by the end of the year. And that's not including any giveaways that's funded. I don't know if there's anyone else doing that, so I do get a lot of hate, like earnings from affiliates, but I know, shit, I'm doing my best. I literally give a third back, and I take the tax. I basically give you 40% back, essentially, if I cover the tax for you. And then, that should be besides the point. But, yeah. so far, yeah, the drama's ended because I blocked the guy perpetrating it. So we're good. We're good there now. Like it's been quiet since, and I don't think I'm gonna entertain anymore. Your code does not work on Starter Plus. They might not have a deal on Starter Plus, or is it first time users only? I think it's first time users only get a discount, so no code will work. But 30,000 in cash rebates is kind of insane. And if we get anywhere closer to higher numbers, because like my numbers are not good compared to Patrick, let's say, even he's doing like he said he's doing like a what was it, like a 500,000, a million per month. Imagine how much I could rebate back there. That'd be insane. Look at that drive down. So we're trying to fill this whole daily fair value gap here. Bitcoin new lows again. Is it under 80,000? 78. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Damn, we're just slamming. Almost negative. Oh, we're almost negative 4%. 800 points on NQ. Holy moly. Holy crap. What do you guys think would be kind of like the low of day for NQ? Like, you think one more drive under 400 and then we make a low and that'll be it? Or would you keep on selling off for the rest of the PM? I want to say a low gets made once we fill this and get one more drive down. But, dude, with just how market is running right now, just look at that 15-minute charts. Every 15-minute has just been slamming lower and lower and lower. Doesn't it halt like at negative 5%? I have no idea anymore. I feel like it rarely goes to negative 5%. I feel like it only happened twice. It happened kind of recently when Lanto took advantage of that on Top Step. Other time was during COVID, when I think we had like a negative 5, never 6% day, and then we reversed actually positive on the day. And that was my first time seeing that happen. I'm like, holy crap! Market just really dropped down 5% on SPX and like QQ basically, and then just reverses back to positive on the same day. Yeah, I'm not really trying to press buttons at this low because I still don't see any good valid short entries yet. Yeah, you can have hindsight be like short every PD rate, which makes sense, but I'd rather wait for something clean. Look how much the daily FEG got filled. It's like it only has like 10% left, maybe. ES really ran through that. Made a pretty good low, and we're trying to flip this right now. I don't really see any higher time frame PD rates to support this play yet. But we'll get the 15-minute closure, and then we'll have a 15-minute fair value gap. Depending on how that plays out, that might be where my next area of interest is. And then we'll have to make a play post 2 p.m. This is a down close candle that made that low here. So this here's a down close candle. We can flip that. We'll get a bullish break here with a change state delivery 2 on the 1. Looking good for a move high here. So we're good. We're gonna at 2 p.m. closed in 4 minutes essentially here. Let's see where that lands us. I want to see if this holds, and then we can inverse, and then we'll get like a more of a low time frame reversal, and I'll wait for the 15 minute to confirm a complete reversal. Do you have a HYSA, a HYSA? I feel like that's a retirement or something for. Is that a retirement account for Canadians? Or no? Oh, never mind. It's high yield savings account. Okay, okay. I feel like Canadians had something similar to that name. Never mind. I have one. It's just with whatever bank I have. It's not that much, but it just like it gets transferred. Any payout just gets transferred there. I think it's like 4.2%. It's not that high. There's others. I think Robinhood is already doing 5 or 4.5. So if anything, like my Robinhood port, if I'm not taking a trade, it's still accumulating whatever that APY is. I think it's 4.5, but you have Robinhood Gold or did whatever withdrawal they want you to do, it goes up 5%. That's what it is. TFSA. I was like, that's what I was thinking about. So I think we wait for the 2 p.m. closure here. Not much to really do here. Is Top Step on right now? Since they posted a 150k subs, they better do a 150k deal. What do you think they would even put off? Is like a 150k account, maybe like maximum 3 to 10 purchases, something that they did similar last year or year before. Maybe $30 off, $40 off, which is like 30%. $25% is still not bad. 25% of 150, how much is that? It's like, is that 37.5? Yeah, 37.5. So it comes like 112. That's not bad at all. That's actually a pretty good price. I want to get closer to 100 though, but yeah, 2 p.m. is about to close here. I don't know. I'm trying to even look at hindsight, like what could I have played? The only thing I was really anticipating is if we flip this 5-minute inversion, we'll go for this high and I'll play longs for it. We didn't get that, so it was a false confirmation. Maybe since I know that we are closing back to low, we should have looked at shorts on the next candle here. Let me just try to see if I could play like that. So we closed here. In the next candle, we should have played on flip on downside because we didn't get that flip. But even then, like I still want an internal high to get taken, so that just sucks there. Why are you expecting top to discount? Because I think they've been talking about it. They haven't done discount in a year or maybe even more. But yeah, they're talking about it, and they hit 150k sale today, or 150k subs today. So when they're already kind of teasing it, and then they hit like a milestone, I think it adds up. Asking this for a friend, this does not sound good already. Does anyone have experience of banning by Top Step and using another profile? That does not sound good. I feel like every time someone makes that like suspicious question, they're like, "Yeah, just asking for a friend here." But what happens if I'm banned and I'm trying to do this? Is that fine? I was a little concerned about like Top Step banning a lot of people, but I think so far they only been banning people that's like outright doing something crazy. Because they're saying like 1% of traders. I was confident I was one of them because me buying excessive evals when there was no limitations, I was like, shit, they got me. It was allowed back then, but not anymore. And I was telling like Lanto Desi like, shit, I'm banned. I'm probably gonna get banned, but because you know how I've been talking about how I do evals. I just basically buy like 20, 30 at a time, every like 3, 4, 5 months, when just based on when I need it really, and just pass them all in one go. And that's kind of against their terms now. But yeah, I don't think I hedge. I sometimes play with news volatility, but that's basically it. It's nothing crazy. No hedging. Hedging is for sure gone. No hedging with a friend either. No hedging on evals. So like, I feel like now it makes sense now. Like they're only banning people that's like outright doing something shady, not like buying a lot of accounts or resetting a lot of accounts. if I use the same Wise account, would they find out? Still ask you a friend. It's gonna be just KYC. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be linked. If they ban you on like one account and you're using the same information, let's say payouts wise on a different account, that's gonna be outright easy to detect just for you and your friend here. Is it better to try and pass evals quickly or play it like funded with minimal risk? I'm always gonna say the first one. Pass evals as quick as possible. Save your mental capital, and when funded comes, when your funded is ready, that's when like you have to acknowledge like whatever you did on evals to pass, do not do the same thing on funded. Funded is a different game, and you have to really be disciplined. And I feel like that lets you trade prop longer, more successful over time, because you get burned out quickly, and why waste so much of your energy on something that's not making you money? My friend is thanking all you for the invaluable info. I feel like if you're banned, man, there's already other firms out there. It makes sense to just trade them. Let's just wait. Plenty of firms. Imagine you do very good on the next account that you have. Let's say you're just trying to like make a second profile, and that's what he's applying, and they just don't pay you out because they detect it. If you try to pass quickly and start failing a bunch of accounts, yeah, that's the thing too. Like it's only applicable for people who are already experienced, like have a model, and they're taking like more of a certain pass rate. So as long like you can put like calculate how much you need to buy the eval, activate them, 1 or 2 resets, and you're hitting that number, like let's say $600 for all-in funded account. That's all that matters. If you go over that, something's wrong with your trading. I think the only thing that prop firms would can work around this is they do a consistency rule on the evals too, which would be very kind of ugly. I wouldn't want them to do that, but that's an option. Imagine like a 20% consistency rule to pass the eval. Would you guys like that? If it makes, let's say, if it would be somewhat cheaper, let's say activation fee wise or something, that would kind of drive me nuts. So we're about to fill the whole thing. Damn, we're just slamming, chat. We're actually just slamming down now. Might just get the strong impulse here. I think we're just gonna get a drive under 400, to be honest here. So we're gonna get one more big leg down. I'm looking at multiple time frames just to see what it's playing at. I just don't see any short opportunities that's clear. I mean, you could play off his version, play for the lows, but it's just very poor risk reward. I'd rather wait for a better structure. Why is the market so bearish? It just could be time for correction. It could be politics, whatever you believe. I think I do try to put that aside and just play purely based off of price action delivery as well as candles. So if it's ready to flip higher, we would have for sure got this 5-minute flip here already, but we didn't, so it's not ready yet. So we're about to fill this whole 4 hour here. Wow. That's that drive under 400. Kind of anticipating. We fill the 4 hour. Now I just really want to see structure and move higher now. But either it comes or goes. Moving lower here. Having a hard time. Chat, what do you guys think? Low day, somewhat there. How to change time frame in 2 different windows? You just basically duplicate tabs. I'll give a quick explanation of how I set up my charts while I'm waiting here. Let's go for 2 minutes here. So I have NQES. This is just my main charts. This connects with my 15-minute, and it connects with my hourly. And the way that I do it is, let's say I make an hourly fair value gap here. It applies to all the time frames, but the visibility, I save it only shown on the hourly. Let's say if I do like a 15-minute time frame on the 15-minute on hourly chart, it's not visible. You know why? Because I only have it set shown on the minutes. So when you do it that way, you could basically see, have multiple charts. You don't have to flip through time frames. You just flip through tabs. You have preset fair value gaps. If you guys want to set up like mine, I can make a video on that just based off of the interest. I have the same thing set for the higher time frame too. So high time frame daily, the daily matches with the weekly. So if I make a weekly chart, it doesn't show on the daily. If I show a daily chart, it doesn't show on the weekly. I think that's one of the more requested videos. So I'll definitely work on something like that. So we got a 30-second flip here. I feel like we could get a powerful push to run back up. We're already manipulating lower and try to close higher right now. See where this takes us. So 30-second flip, we're just pushing. I think I want to look to play this higher now. It's just too early, but I need to see a clear displacement first too, because we basically filled the whole daily fair value gap. That's why I've been waiting for the most of the session here, and see how we can react from there. This is a large wick. Close lower. That's interesting. Daily for Vega has 200 points more to the downside. For me, that daily on NQ filled, on ES is filled. The next one we're going for is that low, and we're kind of like negative 4% on the day. I don't think we want to keep on playing lower here. What's that pump here? Yo, what was that? Chat, does anyone know what happened there? Was that like a 70-point pump in I don't know how long? What the hell was that? 5-minute breaker if this gets a closure above. Well, I'll play for that breaker. That wick would have took a lot of people out. I don't know. Damn. See, that makes me like second guess. Like, should I have played for this 30-second flip here? Because that's kind of what I was going for. After filling it daily, I mean, that makes sense. But I would want more confirmation. That's kind of like a risky move. Could do micros off it. But we're holding well here. Let's delete this. See if we can have a breaker opportunity. This is before the low was taken. So what we need to do is basically flip this 1 minute. Get a closure above this displacement above 470. And then we can play for like higher. If not, it's not ready yet. President Trump causing some moves. Oh, we just tapped on the 15-minute on that move up. Holy crap, that was quick. Little SMT off these lows here. If you're long bias, you would probably look for confirmation here. I think this is, they're trying to make this low set in. We're starting to respect every tap in, and then we can get a confirmation on the flip upside and hold the downside here. I don't think I want to alert anything. I'll try to comment ideas as best I can if there's something I want to take. Right now, it's focus on upside here. It's just holding. That little SMT here too. I think all it needs is a strong closure in the 5-minute or 15-minute, and then it's going to be gone here. So I think the next 5-minute candle is going to really be telling. If we close above 470, then we have game for upside. If we don't, we just gotta let this play out more. So that retap basically played out well there. If you're able to get that scalp. Chat, I really want to play longs right now. I think we just get a long entry and then just trail our stop because this could really melt straight back up pretty quickly. So I'm trying to look at where I could play off of. I'm trying to see this 5-minute closure here first before we do anything. But just think about premium discount though. Maybe we'll add a starter if it does go back to discount. And then add on confirmations. So let me just put this here. Lower premium discount. I think we'll just go one more leg lower here. No 5-minute closure yet, so that's why it's still preemptive if we take this. Still way too preemptive. But we're starting to respect tremendously. No 5-minute closure yet. Another wick down. We're bouncing off this OB here. This is trying to hold here. I might just lift off. Oh, I want to wait this 5-minute closure here though. Can I play for it? Nothing yet. Look at chat. Five-minute closer is about to happen here. I want to see where this close. Just back and forth so far. Let's look at 30-second if we see anything. Good slam down. Let's see how far I can go here. When do we buy? What I'm looking for is a closure on this 5-minute here. So it'll give this breaker. We haven't got any confirmation yet. What I'm considering is a potential long at like near the lows for a starter, and then we add a confirmation. Just haven't had anything yet, so we don't touch anything. I was hoping this 5-minute closes above here. That'd be the first confirmation we'll kind of get for the most part of the session so far. But since we didn't get that, we're not gonna touch anything. My Apex accounts just got over 53K on evals, but didn't close. Now it's gone back down. Does this clap? Okay, so you have to be at that target by market close. So if you're under it, you're not past yet. It doesn't just instant pass you. You have to end the day with it. There's many times where I, pass it. Let's say I go like above proper target, but I forget that my trade copy is set to it, and it goes from passed to failed. And it does suck, but it just happens. The short answer is no, it's not pass. 100% not pass. That's just not how prop works. There's also many times, you know how many times you trade evals? You're doing bigger size and like maybe volatile as well, and your accounts spike very quickly, but then it doesn't TP you out. It could be off of CPI. You could spike like, let's say 10K profits, and then it closed you much lower. Could be a fail there too. If we flip this, potentially, yeah, I think for longs, I need a strong closure here. I can't get the long done yet. I feel like personally, I would like longs under the equilibrium on this move higher. So let's say we get a long under 450 for a starter, and then adds if we get a confirmation 470s, and then we play for a move up to 500s here basically. And it won't be hard at all for the market to really take us back to 550s, 100 points high from where we are right now, just with one good candle. It's really, but it's just way too early right now. You can see like every confirmation we're getting, it's just been slapped back down. Even look at the 30-second. Wicks higher, close lower, no inversion, no breaker made on the 5-minute. Like, that's all I'm asking for, a 5-minute breaker, and we can't even do that. It's kind of absurd here. That just shows how weak it is. Could you tell something about how you overcame tilt and reach a huge personal milestone, and this got my focus from process to goal-oriented and ultimately caused me to tilt? You want to really try to go day by day. I think when you start thinking about, like, let's say you've been working hard all week, all month, and then something bad happened on that day, it's not the mindset of like, I deserve my my money I made. I shouldn't lose it because of a bad trade or a glitch or something. I think the best case, you just work day by day. So like, if you had a bad day, you should just cut off, cool off, come back. That's what I did more so on Friday. Like, I could have easily tilted if I just traded more during that day, and 90% chance the accounts get blown. But I did, and now all the accounts are still like at 5K profits. I can live with that. It sucks that I gave away 6,000 on each account essentially, but I live to trade another day, right? And that was not even partially my fault. Half the loss was the connection issue. I'll own for the other loss, the other half, because I should have closed it immediately when I got back on. But that's when I hesitated, and that's still like something I'm working on. Anytime like there's a trade copy issues or something with a platform, I can't just close it off immediately for a huge loss when I should have. I try to wait for it to see if I can get break even. I'm like, okay, let's just imagine this thing never happened. I see why you want long, but your long buy is wrong. Chat, I just want to emphasize, we don't long until we get confirmation. Confirmation minimum right now is this 5-minute closure. So even though we're going back and forth, we haven't touched a single button yet. I'm anticipating it. For shorts, honestly, since we did grab this 15-minute, shorts is fair game right now. So if we can play something, maybe off this breaker here to the lows, perhaps something like this. I could play with that. It's just also very hard for me to short when we just filled daily objective and we're holding the daily objective, as well as being basically down 4% on the day. I would need a pretty good rebound first before I play shorts comfortably. Yeah, but all my accounts like above 5,000 profits. I just gotta make another, like, say 2,500 maybe this week, and I'll request the payout when I can, and then we're good again. We're good to go. No problem. But without the technical issue, I feel like we would have been surpassing 200K profits, and nothing would have been bad. We just keep on moving forward. I feel like longs are going to be here soon. We can get one more drive down, but the first confirmation we have... So there's two things right now. This 5 minute here, I was looking for confirmation for up higher. This is not a false confirmation. We wick higher, close lower. That's a bearish signature. Same thing here, 5 minute breaker. Wick higher, close lower. No confirmation. So both times, no confirmation for PM session so far. I feel like the first confirmation we'll get on the higher time period, whether it's 5 or 15 minute, it's going to be a more of a reversal. For now, you want to just play for shorts, because we have not got the confirmation yet. I'm kind of like talking a little bit too fast for my mouth, stuttering a little bit. That's just the problem with fast speakers, because you're thinking so fast, you know what you're saying, but sometimes your mouth can't keep up. And you start mumbling a little bit. Yeah, we flipped this 1 minute, we're just gonna fall down lower. I honestly wanted to see this, and we got drive high here, 15-minute gap on this move higher too. Could play off this 1 minute breaker. Now we got this closure. So if we can come back up, that's where the short I'll be looking for. If this low's not taken, if either lows are not taken, any retrace back higher, I want to play for shorts, stop above the breaker. Lando is the rapper. Lando speaks fast, if not faster than me sometimes, man. We gotta go fast, but like, here's the thing though, fast speakers can understand fast speakers. If you're a normal speaker, you're like, this is way too fast for me. I want to smack the short here. Come on. Let's see if we can get a drive above 30s. Now I get the breaker validation here. The lows are still in. Play for the shorts. I think we do here. It didn't necessarily get into that breaker I wanted yet. Chat, I think this is a short here. Let's run back up. You guys with me here? I want to see if we can play on the move down, but I don't think we'll get that chance. We gotta play it here. So we're getting inside that breaker now. As long as this isn't reverse here. I'm taking a jab. The breaker is right here. I'm going to remove this 1 minute here. Or I'll just put it aside, but this is the breaker here. And I want to see more of this OB get respected here. So that's where I'm trying to mark it at. But we're just very deep at discount. So my preference would be see if we could play on the move down. Let's say we can get a drive higher, go low time frame, 30 second, go for the flip. But I think I'm going to try to do both. Going to get a starter in and see if I can play the second move. So good drive inside the break here, right at the OB. Any trade, any shorts here, I want to put my stop above the breaker, around 61. So I'm looking very close at 444 right now. Let's see if we can hold this down. And then we can just drop down lower time frame. So the moment we get like a 30 second, 15 second chart flip, I'm gonna jump in wherever it is. And if you don't think that's possible, you could put a entry now, stop above high. Whatever the case, we're going for it now. Around 44 is here. So here's a 15 second here. We do flip this. Not yet. This would be the play here. Now if we get a 30-second closure, stop above the high, play for the low inside the breaker, but we don't play on the candle up because of how aggressive it is. I'm looking at this here. I'm gonna go for a low day if that presents itself for us. It's holding pretty well though. If we get a candle closure outside the breaker, this play is probably not going to be working. We already got this 1 minute flip, and I'll just be very prepared for the upside if anything. If we get closure above, this would probably be that breaker here, right? Is that what we're playing for? If we do get a closure above 480s. Yeah, we didn't get this flip yet. This is still in play for me right now because we didn't take the low on ES, so we get a slam down very quickly. I'm gonna join in shorts. Let's see if we get it here. We might get it here. It's a 15-second chart here too. Need a strong closure. If we get a 30-second flip here, this should send down to low day. So I got my first add in. Let's see how we're gonna go here. I have my stop at 60 right now. No closure. Let's see this play out. 444. There's 15-point stop on this at a breaker high. Can we get a candle closure below 30s? So yeah, equal highs on ES is still fair game. Equal lows on ES, I mean. I want to go for these lows, draw into it. Back to entry again. I have my stop set, so if this takes me out, I'm gonna just watch for the next entry. But it's a very tight stop with this volatility. Just back at entry right here. The 5-minute didn't flip yet, so that's why I'm allowed to play shorts. It just got to be at a good risk reward, as well as ideally playing on the move down rather than move up, because the way that it's been going so aggressive lately on both sides. But if I get stopped out and we're still looking for lower, I'll just look to re-enter. It's kind of the same play the move down. But the moment it gets a closure, let's say above 470, I'm going to just flip upside. And I'll try to add on this play. We get a nice closure through this 30-second here. Doesn't look like that. I might probably get stopped here. Just floating around where I'm looking at. ES is trying to go for these lows. I can feel it. Just back and forth flipping, but it's just holding still, which is good. Let's see the strong closure. This is the first 30-second flip here. So ideally could add. I'm just going to let this play out here. He's just holding. ES is just doing a wick lower. We haven't got a flip there yet either. Just let this play out with one contract. So stop set at 60 above the breaker high. I'm trying to go for the low of day. Where are we going here? It should play the lower here. ES just makes it look like we're going to slam down. I don't know how NQ is surviving so well. I'm going to clean up my chart a little bit. We got this move higher, but we didn't play on the first tap in. We played in the second tap in on the move down. So now we have a stop similar to above that previous high, but just not that high instead. It's just above that 60 level. And it's coming back near entry again. We're just way too close for ES. The moment ES takes these lows, I think I'm going to try to do a break even. Why did I take short? Because I was waiting for a 5-minute flip. We didn't get the 5-minute flip, so now we play downside. I don't want to put break even yet until ES take these lows. Hopefully that's not a regretful decision. He's so tight and just bouncing back and forth. All right, we're gonna break even here. Just take a below. ES took the lows. We could close this off right here, right now. I just put my few points a bit low over here. I'm gonna see if I can let it trail down. So that makes it SMT. I want to see this play for lower, but we just wicked it, man. Can we play for the lower here? Let's have it set at 43 right now. I want to see this propel lower here. Fuck's sake, come on. One more candle closure, I'm going to put it above that previous high that we just did here. About 25 points, but I'm going for low of day here. So we're not happy yet. Ideally, internal lows too. 13s here. I'm just going to let this trail. Because it is very bearish bias. We're playing on the trend, and we got one internal sweep higher that failed. And now we should play this down. No closure yet. This is going to be my next stop high of this closure. It might be close, but I want to move it as we go. So we have that set now. If it takes that previous high, I'll be out. If not, we'll go for the next low. I'm going to take another piss. I'll be right back. I'll let charts decide where we go. Oh, we're looking good. See, this is what I was hoping for. I was like, can I just go to the bathroom, come back and it plays in my favor, please. Type one of you took that trade, guys. I think I'm gonna probably take some out on half my accounts here. I'll hold the other half. This is basically 34 points. We took the internal low here. That could be a good TP on his own, but we want to see how far we can go here. Because we're going for low day. Low day is at 397. I think it's still fair game here. And here we go. Let's land down low day. You're on the 2 minute? Oh shit. My bad. The idea is that re-tap back inside that breaker. Once we get that closure, I'm gonna put my stop above this because if it does get a retap back inside the breaker, the bearish momentum could be shaky because we're just testing it way too many times. So once we get that closure here, green stop move from break even down to 35 and just let that trail. So, you know, when price was here, either trails me out for 10 points or I'm going for the next low, which is like another 30 points on my favor. That to me is positive risk reward for trailing method. And there's that low. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I'm about to just close out right here. You guys can trail it, but I'm just gonna close it right here. Fuck it. We're gonna take that right there. I just like low day too much, and I'm also somewhat bullish here. So the count that I TP'd out early made 500. The count that I held made a little bit more. Look at that. One trade. It was a total of 40 points. That's why we're at 800. Almost 800. I didn't TP at the very dot though, but... Wait, yo, chat. Why is a few people in the chat saying you entered already, or when you taking shorts? Did I not share my entry like 5 times where we just got back and forth? Am I confused? I went out to take a piss for a second, but I'm pretty sure we played that where I shared my entry, shared my stop moved, shared literally every single thing. That's why I thought. I was a little confused there. But I try to apply the same thing with Asia model to PM when it's this trend base. You basically let that trail through, go for low of day, and then if you, let's say it does come back up to your previous high, because this is where I want to mark it. We get closure below the breaker. I'm gonna play for that continuation. If it takes me out, you know, you're still up like 4-5 points or something like that, whatever. And you have more opportunities. You're going for another like 30 point move here. So instead of just like early TP for 10 points, you let that trail. So this is kind of what I mean. You give back 10 points to go for another 26 points. That's positive trailing risk reward. But if it takes out this low here, this is where it gets a little risky, right? If you keep at this high, is that positive risk reward here? If it trails back to that previous high here, 21 points giving back, your TP looking at 15 points, that's where I would probably move my my trail a little bit lower, probably off this closure here. I'll move at that previous high. I'll just keep on going until we hit either get trailed out or I manual TP out. Oh, what's up, chat? Okay, Dave's in the building. Tanya's in the building. Yeah, I feel like there's some trolls. I don't know if they're being serious. But I'm just happy that, you know, people who are like watching, they know what we're doing. They know like why I waited for not the first tap, but the second tap. The second tap was the second closure here. When it closed back in, it retraced back in. We took the entry, stop at the breaker. Whatever happens, we get stopped out. Who cares? Next trade, or we go for the low of day. And for the people who say like why I'm short, why I'm long, it's because I've looked at 2 things for a reversal. We couldn't get this 5-minute flip because this displacement here took out the internal lows, basically AM lows here. With this closure here, if we flip back up, I think this moves us for higher and probably take out this high, just based off of like AMD type of thing with this closure. We didn't get that. We wicked higher, closed lower, move lower. Next thing was this breaker. If we can get a closure above, we play for the breaker. We go for the next high, which is basically PM high. We couldn't get that. Once again, that's two false, not false alert, but like two confirmation I was looking for upside, but we didn't get. So once we fail that, I'm just going to have to look for the next possible trade, which is the downside. We have no confirmation upside. Downside still there. I use this breaker here. And once we get a closure under, we had relative lows. We had lows on NQ not taken. Retrace back in. We play for the short. And the way that I want to also demonstrate it is, since it's so volatile, the best thing you could do is get in on the move down if you're short and get in the move up if you're long. So, for instance, let's say the reverse, if you're looking for longs, right, and it's sinking, 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 instead of just trying to catch a knife, just wait for it to flip first, and then you can take the play. If you're playing off of a higher time frame PD race, let's say this is like off the hourly or something, and you're looking at 1 minute, like instead of just catching it here, you can just let this play out a little bit. And the moment it flips, now you can long, let's say right here off this 1 minute breaker, play your stop, previous low, and go for the next move. This is kind of the similar way I did for the short here, essentially. But yeah, first trade of the day, we don't have enough time for another trade. Unless it's a long opportunity. I think longs would be fair game still. If we get a very good closure, most likely a closure still above 470s. I don't really see any 15-minute unmitigated gap because that wicked higher. So that also spells for lower too. Once we get a wick higher, close lower type of thing, we feel this. We already rebalanced on this move on that 2 p.m. candle here. I don't know where it came from, but someone said it was like Trump talking. That move higher really filled that rebalance. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about the 5-minute breaker because we already closed lower. And then we just got to worry about the downside. And it's pretty easy to just follow the momentum there. But yeah, I feel like once we take low of day, you got to be very smart of how you want to trail it, because, you know, there's other sessions where it just keeps on going lower and lower and it's free money. But the times where we can get a reversal, you got to be very smart. Like, how much do you want to give back on your trade? Let's say you're up 40 points on this closure here. How much do you want to really give back on the trailing? I think at most, I'm going to go with this high here, 20 points, and let it trail out. But for me, I also will just manually close that once it hits low day. I have no idea if this does hold down though. Negative 4% a day on a Monday. Like, imagine if Tuesday just does another like 2% red day, 2 or 3%. We're gonna go for these lows, and that's like a 7% move already. I'm gonna look for some reliefs around these areas, especially when I'm looking at higher time frame charts. The only thing you really need to watch for is confirmation. Confirmation could be the 5 or 15 minute. And notice on the move down, we have zero confirmation on the upside at all. Every 15-minute gap just gets wicked. We filled it and moved lower. And every order block, let's look at the bullish order block here. Retaps, close lower. It's just getting so respected. So the moment it does flip, it could be off Asia or overnight, which I'll be trading tonight. If we get that, look for the reversal pattern confirmation. Get an entry and then see if we can trail it. Same way we did on the downside, or we go for the upside. 4% is rare. 800 points on NQ. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a bit surprising. But it is what it is, man. You just gotta let it play out. Should we look at trade Zella here? Let's see how much we're up. You guys like a big loss? I mean, 50K of that is definitely on me, but the other 50K, I have to that trade that platform, man. Me out. But we're good. We're good. I'm gonna try to sync trade Zella here. Yeah, it's trying to load up. I don't know why it's not. Oh, there it is. There it is. So this is what we're looking at. Not bad. I mean, it's a start. We're back above 100K profits. This Friday, big loss from my technical error plus me hesitating really stretched out a 100K loss. I was up 50K before this Friday, by the way, and I basically closed negative 50K. But these accounts are only like under 20 trading days old right now, so one loss is like one tiny setback. We're still up 100K. We're still pushing up. All accounts above 5,000 profits. We're good. We're good. And that's what I mean. Like, live to trade another day. If I tilted on Friday, try to come get it back because of whatever issue I had with the platform, I would 100% get blown. I feel like 95% blow the count, and that'd be it. I had to restart. Any long move we can expect, I would still probably opt for the 5 or 15 minute if we can get this. So a new thing with this wick lower, something I would probably look at is a potential breaker off of this candle here. It's a large wick, which is kind of difficult to manage, but like as long as we get a strong closure off this body closure, I'll consider that as a breaker here. But you know, like I've been also looking at longs the whole time, and I haven't got a full confirmation for longs yet. The only full confirmation was this short, so it's kind of hard for me to tell. We haven't got anything yet. A lot of lower liquidity on the upside. Yeah, that's something to eye for. But we definitely need some closure. We need some momentum here. If you want to think about longs. I think we're getting close to it though. Power hour. I don't think power is going to sink more. Market has just been still looking for lows. And that's that sink lower. Holy crap. Guess what happened? We didn't get any confirmation. I think it's the right call though to get Grace stopped out though. I don't think you should just hold this break even. Because you're just gonna give back a lot of profits. I honestly think like lows are getting close to the end right now. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. It's not backed by any analysis. It's just like other than the higher time frame, maybe you could play off the, the daily, but like we're just getting very close. I can't imagine we just dumped up to 5% here. Prove me wrong, market. It's really just pushing for lower here. Yeah, I'm not sure where we're gonna go here. Big sell. Big sell. Major sell. I gotta wrap the session sooner because I don't want to get provoked to trade more. We'll probably have to do the giveaway soon here. And wrap the session up. Let's do the giveaway here. Alright, like the stream and comment your YouTube username one time, and then we'll pick a winner. I'm just gonna probably watch it. I don't think I'm taking any more trades, to be honest. Yeah, how far are we going? I have no idea. Almost -5 yet? 4.3, almost -4.4, 4.45, I mean. I'm just like fearful of like anyone trying to catch longs and just zoop. Just be careful right now. It's like getting a little dangerous now. Like it just free fall and you don't want to spoil your account that easily, I would imagine. Alright. I'll give you guys another minute for the giveaway. And then we'll just pick one. And I think we're wrapping this up early. Or not early, just the same time. 3 p.m. We'll just be back on for Asia tonight. And then Discord tomorrow. Pretty easy. Alright, giveaway winner today is Iconic Yanelli. That's you say your name? Okay, yeah, DM me in Discord. I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys. Have a good one. See you guys tomorrow.